a stunt competition last night. Uh, Today I'm at water polo, so we're making it all work. So I just wanted to say first off, thank you, team. I know there was a little bit of a hiccup coming out the gate with this project and communication, so I apologize again for that. This is great information. It's extremely helpful. The question I had is, with both uh, size events, the two different budgets, the 200,000 and then the 400,000. They both, the proposals come way under budget. And would you say that the biggest cost difference would be the band coming in and what the fee is for the actual band?
So no, I wouldn't say that. The band, their fee that they provided for us was for the both events. I let them know that we were planning for two different budgets, and their price is set for either event. So I think the only difference would be in the sound equipment that will be required. That would probably be the biggest difference for the venue.
I'm sorry, I must not. I probably wasn't clear in that. There's a lot of stuff going on around me. My question was, for instance, if we were to bring in a group that would, I guess, that others would be more aware of, like a headline group, like a DC Talk or a Mercy Me, or maybe even a crossover artist, because the budgets were quite lower than the amounts that were proposed, the 200,000 and the 400,000. Would you say that if we're looking at raising $1 million, raising an additional $400,000, that the biggest factor would be the notoriety of the music group, but all the other costs would be fairly fixed?
Yes, I agree that would
Exactly
be the biggest. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And we actually did try to reach out to some larger Christian groups. Unfortunately, they're a little harder to get a hold of. But we weren't able to find concrete numbers for that as well. But we also didn't factor in labor. I know that labor is actually one of the most expensive things, like for setup, takedown, everything like that. But when we did tour, we heard the great response of volunteers who are willing to not only work events, but work at the mission. So we figured that utilizing the volunteers would also really, really help the costs come down as well.
Sure. I will say, I love all of the information that you guys have given us, and I think you're really on point. This size event with this size budget is easily an annual event that VCRM would do, and I love that because you've given us a lot of information we didn't have, and this is extremely manageable, extremely doable on an annual basis, and then really do it large for the 50th birthday. So you've given us a great framework, through which to work, and I'm really grateful for that. Great job on that.
Thank you.
Faculty advisor, do you have something to ask or to contribute to the discussion? Keith?
Sorry, I don't really, the only thing is I think I noticed a couple of addition mistakes on a couple of the budgets being added up, but other than that, it seemed like it's all doable. I echo what Clayton said, that I think that if we're far enough under budget, we could, go to a much bigger artist. But I can understand it's hard to get people to respond a lot of times, publicists, especially when you're not a well-known venue or well-known potential client. So that's tough. Maybe given a little bit more time, we could have gotten some responses, but good job. Very, very good job.
Okay. Just a couple of comments or points, and I'm not sure if that is something that you had in your project. For the events, I noticed that the security, support, cleanup, setup, all of that was, in my view, a little bit underfunded or underestimated. Is this my mistake, or did you assume, as you said before, that I will be taken care of based on the volunteers?
No, so that's the rate card that we got from the Ventura Fairgrounds. Those are actual numbers from them. So that is how much their security cost.
Okay, because it looks pretty low for the number of people that you're going to be having.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so for I believe we actually did do research on festivals similar to this, like family-like festivals with around 400 to 500 people. Yet again, we only did it for around 400 to 500 people, although the stadium can accommodate much more. But it actually said that it's appropriate to have one security guard per 100 people. So that was based on our research, that was what was appropriate. So we modeled it off that.
But then you had that per hour, and you only had 1 hour times 4. So I was a little confused how the calculation worked.
We actually did it before that. So say it was, yeah, like $32 per hour, then I already times it by the 5 employees.
Okay, that's fine. As long as
Yeah.
you have it calculated, that's fine. The other thing, will you be serving any alcohol?
No,
No.
absolutely not. Yeah,
Okay.
it was from the recommendation of the client that we do not have any alcohol or drugs.
No, that's
at
fine. I
each
just
event.
want to make, because that's a completely different license or anything else that is to be considered. And I did not know if you were to do any of that.
Oh yeah, no, also too, a lot of the alumni who have graduated from the Rescue and Mission Alliance program are recovering addicts. So we chose that it's more appropriate to not have it at all in any of the events.
That's good. I would just want to make sure that will stay that way throughout.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or anything else from the team? Yes, Barry.
Yeah. I've been involved in a couple of these. You may have covered this, but did you interview other, say, development managers or people responsible for galas or similar events? How many did you, I missed, how many did you interview?
So me personally, I know of an all-boy high school that does a gala every single year, and they generate quite a significant profit from them. So I actually was able to interview their event coordinator and able to gather numbers from there. And then Erwin as well was able to interview the vendors, and we directly contacted them by phone to interview them as well.
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you go to breakout room number 2 for you to continue your discussion. And that will be very helpful for Clayton to ask any particular questions that you might